Day 19. A customer asks a support AI one question, and the answer she gets ends up in a one-star review. Everyone involved will file this under AI hallucinations. It isn't one, and that distinction costs this team 6 weeks. Let's call her Dana. She asks, "Can I still send this back?" The AI says, "Absolutely, you've got 30 days. Warm, helpful, immediate." She posts it back on day 20. Refund refused. The policy changed to 14 days last quarter. Dana leaves a one-star review that quotes the AI word for word. So that's a refund, a public receipt with a permanent URL, and a support lead. Call her Priya, sitting in front of her CEO, explaining how the AI they bought lied to a customer. So Priya's team did what everyone does. They spent 6 weeks rebuilding their retrieval stack. It didn't work, and not because they built it badly. Here's a second ticket from the same week. Different customer. Asks whether there's a student discount. The AI says yes, 15%, use the code at checkout. There is no student discount. There is no code. There never was. 2 tickets. Same product, same confident voice, same furious customer. Read them side by side and you cannot tell them apart. But only one of them is a hallucination. The other is something else entirely. And if you treat them the same, you do what Priya did. You rebuild half your stack to fix a problem that lived in one document. So, which is which? Ticket B, the student discount, is the real thing. A hallucination is an answer that's invented, misattributed, or just not supported by anything the model was given. The AI wasn't repeating a mistake. It manufactured one. And the danger isn't that it's wrong. It's that it's wrong in exactly the same tone as every right answer. Nobody reading it has a reason to doubt it. Now, Dana's ticket. Ticket A. The AI didn't invent anything. It found the Help Center article and quoted it faithfully. The article said 30 days. Nobody had updated it since the policy changed. That's not a hallucination. That's a filing problem. The AI was the only one in the building doing its job properly. Same bad reply, completely different job to fix. And in deployed support AI, the filing one is far more common, which is why Priya's 6 weeks bought her nothing. So before you touch anything, you need to know which of the two you're looking at. That takes 30 seconds. Open the conversation that went wrong and ask it one question. Where did this answer come from? If there's a source document sitting behind it, and that document says 30 days, you don't have a hallucination. You have a filing problem, and the entire fix is editing that one document. If there's nothing behind it, the model reached past what it knew and made something up. That's a model problem, and the fix is completely different. It's the refusal layer, getting it to say, "I don't know, let me get you a human," instead of having a go. 30 seconds, 2 questions answered. What broke, and who's fixing it? Which is fine for Dana. But ticket B is still sitting there, and nobody has explained why a system that expensive would invent a discount code. Out of thin air. Nobody ever trained it to be right. A language model predicts the next plausible word. That's the whole job. True isn't in the job description. It can't tell you when it doesn't know either. There's no confidence dial in there. The needle's painted on. OpenAI published a paper on this, and they're blunt. Training and evaluation reward. Guessing over admitting uncertainty. A model that says, "I don't know" scores worse than one that takes a swing. So we built a generation of systems that would rather be confident than correct. And yes, I would tell you all of that in precisely the same voice whether or not it were true. That's sort of the whole problem. Which is why the hallucination rate on a vendor's slide is close to meaningless. Watch what happens when you actually look at one. There's no universal benchmark, but there is one worth knowing: AA-Omniscience. 3 labs, same year, and look at the spread. 36, 50, 86. That's not 3 levels of quality. That's 3 completely different bets about whether an AI should ever guess. Now that 86, it isn't 86% of all its answers. It's 86% of the ones it chose to attempt when it wasn't sure. Every "I don't know" scored as a win. Turn extended thinking on, same generation, and it drops to 4.2. 4.2, or 86. Same system, one setting. So the headline number tells you nothing, and the default setting is the one that reaches your customers. So if you're buying, 2 questions. Not do you promise 0 hallucinations. That's a marketing line, and here's what it's usually hiding. They only counted the questions the AI chose to answer, or logged every wrong reply as your docs being wrong, not their model. Question 1. What's your refusal rate right next to your hallucination rate? A vendor at 1% who refuses 5% of questions is a different product from one at 1% who refuses 50. The second one bought its score by not turning up. In our view, best in class is under 1% in scope, refusing over 95% out of scope. Question 2. On any of my last 100 tickets, show me which source you used and the reasoning you followed. If they can't do that, there's nothing to verify, and you're back to guessing which failure you've got, which, as Priya found out, costs a quarter. Here's the version where Priya doesn't lose 6 weeks. She opens Dana's conversation. She asks the AI why it answered that way. It shows her the article. The article's wrong. She edits the article, one document, one afternoon, and the same question now returns 14 days. That's the 30-second test, run as a habit instead of a panic. It's why the audit trail is the thing we lean on hardest at My AskAI. Grounded retrieval over your help center and your past tickets. Refuse and escalate when confidence is low. And self-learning, which drafts a fresh article whenever a human corrects the AI on a handed-over ticket, so the filing problem starts closing itself. Recruit CRM were sitting at around 35% AI resolution and assumed they'd bought the wrong model. They hadn't. They started opening the conversations that went badly every week and fixing the sources behind them. 68%. Not a model upgrade, a weekly review. So, hallucinations are real, and they're the smaller half of your problem. Before you rebuild anything, open the conversation, ask where the answer came from, and find out which failure you actually own. Full breakdowns in the post below. If this saved you a wasted quarter, hit that like button and subscribe for more AI customer service knowledge. And thanks for watching.